do you not consider nudity to be immoral?
Nudity immoral. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Nudity in public immoral. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Obviously, not in your bedroom. We don't care what you do in your bedroom.
Well, sort of depends. Depends what.
Depends, really? Depends on what? Nudity, bro. Come on, it's nudity. Would you want to expose your children to anyone who's completely nude and adult?
No, of course not. But the
Why
thing
is
is,
that?
this is
Why is that?
No.
Because you consider it to be immoral, right?
Well, because they're little children. That's fine.
No, but there are children in the Kumbh. There are lots of children in the Kumbh.
Yeah, and
These Kumbh Melas are full of women and children. Would you want to expose your women and children to this grown-up man in his birthday suit?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. I think just want to touch upon what that.
Yes, Aryan, where are you calling from?
Canada.
Canada. You're a Hindu, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you came before. Yeah.
I did once. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So before you proceed, tell us a bit about your religion as to your belief, because I think Dhruv was of the. He probably follows the Advaita Vedanta philosophy. What do you follow?
Yeah. So my family, if you're talking about family, like my sampradaya you were talking about, like where I come from a Vaishnav family.
Okay.
So in our sampradaya, we worship Krishna.
Right.
Krishna is what I call Ishtadevta, means our chosen deity to worship.
Okay. Are you from the ISKCON movement?
No, I'm not from ISKCON.
And this deity is a representation, right? So that this is a representation of the ultimate reality, right?
Yeah, but Ishtadevta means because the thing is, when we go to the source scriptures of Hinduism, we consider all the ascetic schools of Hinduism, which means all the closest English translation would be all the theistic schools of Hinduism, be it Vedanta, Sankhya, Vaisheshika, and everyone. These different philosophies, they all get their source, their knowledge from the Vedas. And especially because Vedas have two parts, the Karmakan, which means the rituals, and then the knowledge portion. So especially from the knowledge portion. So if you look at the core scripture, which are the Upanishads, they talk about a fundamental reality, which Dhruv was talking about, which is, it's not called Brahman, it's called Brahma. Brahma literally means that which is vast. So that is the concept, which is, I'm not sure if any of you have read the Parmenides, like Greek philosopher's work. His concept of being is very similar to that of Brahma in Upanishads, which is one constant, unchanging, non-dual. So that's the key word, non-dual reality, which cannot be worshipped, which cannot be objectified as a thing out there. It is a fundamental reality which cannot even say exists and does not exist, because
but that all sounds contradictory.
I'm not going to go much into detail, but yeah, so that is the.
If it exists and doesn't exist, it sounds like a contradiction to me.
No. Okay, I'll just
can't be worshipped, but it's meant to be worshipped. Also,
no,
problematic to me.
I'll give you a simple example, like from one of the Upanishads. When the student asks, because the Upanishads are basically dialogues between students and teacher. So when the student asks the teacher, what is that which makes my eyes see? What is that which makes my ear hear? What is that which makes my speech, like my mouth talk, right? So basically it's asking about that conscious principle within each human that makes us aware of ourselves and which makes us conscious of things. So the teacher says that thing which you're asking about, it is not something which you can see, but it is something by which your eyes are seeing right now, because it's at the source of your perception. You cannot see it.
No, but it exists. That's the thing. Consciousness exists. What you said is it exists and it doesn't exist, which is completely contradictory.
I'll get into that. Because the Upanishads equate consciousness with existence. They say that consciousness and existence are intertwined. They cannot be separated. That's their philosophy, that consciousness and existence. By what I mean by existence is a pencil is, a phone is, a computer is. Now these are different forms and shapes, but the existence that they all exist, that isness that we call.
No. Hold on. A pencil does not have consciousness unless you're telling me a pencil is conscious. Just because it's material doesn't mean it's conscious.
No. No one says pencil is.
What you need to, Aryan, what you need to answer is how will you try to make anyone understand if something exists and doesn't exist at the same time?
No, what I mean by exist, as in like a pencil exists, right? But you cannot say an existence exists because
how do you not say
no,
that?
you're not making any sense. I'm asking you to justify existence and non-existence at the same time of the same entity. You can't do that, can you?
Okay.
Or can you say with confidence? And sorry, we're throwing stuff at you. I get it, but can you say with confidence that you don't exist right now?
No, that's the thing. You cannot do that because.
So then, how can you claim the contrary then?
What's the contrary? Again,
you're saying the contrary. You're saying that you exist and don't exist. The contrary is the non-existence.
No,
and then the contrary
sorry.
of non-existence is existence.
Sorry, I think I was I couldn't get my point across.
Okay, let's try again. I lost you there, bro.
Yeah, of course. Brahman is said to be, you cannot speak of it as something that is existing, or you cannot speak of it as something that is not existing.
That's exactly what I'm saying to you.
What I mean by that is a thing that is existing. Now, this is the philosophy of the Upanishads, okay? This cannot, like, you cannot use hard science to prove this because this is the philosophy.
We're not.
No, hold on. Philosophy needs to make sense too.
Yeah,
just because it's philosophical doesn't mean it needs to be illogical. It needs to be able to be rational in whatever you're positing there. If you're telling me a Brahman neither exists nor he exists and at the same time he doesn't exist, clearly one cancels out the other, and therefore it doesn't exist.
Aryan, one other question: Do you believe that contradictions can exist?
Contradictions? No, but let me just explain my point.
Hold on. You just ruined your entire position. I don't know if you realize you stepped on a giant landmine right there. Zishan, the little sneaky snake, man.
Aryan, you need to think it through before you answer, bro.
Yeah,
don't be so quick in answering. Listen to the question and then answer after you have given it some thought.
So,
go on, give
Aryan,
it a try again.
You just said you don't believe in contradictions, yeah? But yet, what did you just say about Brahma?
That's what I'm trying to explain. Okay, so when I say what is the definition of Brahman, in the Upanishads, they give 3 words to it. I'll just talk about the first because the third one, I don't understand myself much. That's why I'm not going to.
No, even before, let's just stick with what you've said already. You said 1 point already, yeah?
Existence, yeah, that's what I'm coming to.
Just repeat that bit again so we can just...
Yeah.
In line
so Upanishad says Brahman is Satyam. Now Satyam means existence. Now what do I mean by existence? Now there's 2 things, existence and existent. A pencil is an existent item that exists, right? A pencil presupposes an existence. Now when you're talking about that isness, right? That a bottle is, right? A pencil is, a table is. That isness that is common to all of 3 things. Now that existence itself, that cannot be spoken of as something that exists, because if an existence exists, then that would lead to infinite regress. I'm not sure if you understand my point.
Yeah, but just to reiterate the point, right?
Infinite regress, bro. There's so many presumptions as to what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense to say just because something exists, now all of a sudden it equals an infinite regress. This is a very jumped a chasm. You know, it's very problematic. So are you saying that because there's an idea of a pencil, therefore the pencil doesn't exist?
No, not an idea.
A conceptualization?
Okay.
No, not a conceptual
I don't think
religion.
we are getting anywhere, guys. Let's
Yeah, I
get
don't
back to
think-
the topic at hand.
Sure.
So, Aryan, can you shed some light on Mahakumbh? What is your understanding? What do you believe
Mahakumbh.
about it?
Okay, my understanding of Mahakumbh is that it is a spiritual gathering of basically all the saints and sages from all around India. Basically happens every 12 years based on the cycle of Jupiter. And
What is the significance of it to you?
significance of that? Yeah, significance of that is that I'm not sure the history about it. I believe the history goes back to Adi Shankaracharya. I believe he's the one who might have started this tradition, but it could be older or newer. I'm not really sure about that. But the main significance is that people can basically come together. It's a spiritual gathering where different traditions, different sampradayas come together. They have discussions, they have debates, where people can engage in different sorts of sampradayas and see what their thoughts are, what their philosophies are. That's why if you go to a Kumbh Mela, you have so many different tents for different sampradayas or different sects. There is a tent of Vaishnavism, right? There's a tent of Shaktism. They're explaining their philosophy. Different schools of thoughts are debating.
Oh,
one another.
these religious folks that you're talking about, is it true that most of them, or the ones that are regarded to be more religious, are naked and you can see their willies?
Most of them, no, I don't agree. Most of them, but some of them, yes. The people that follow the tantric part of
Because I've been seeing some footage on the Indian media, and they've had to, like, I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say there's at least a few thousand, like at least 3,000 to 4,000, and they're
Probably
all
more.
bunched up in one place, and it's just willy after willy.
Probably more. I'm gonna agree to that, because those are the tantric. Most of them are tantric sadhus, and the tantric practices involve a lot of those things.
They call them the Naga Babas.
Yeah, the Naga sadhus. Yeah.
And there's another, obviously I'm asking you these things just to kind of confirm. And another thing that I saw, correct me if I'm wrong, is as they're there with their willies, they're also dangling, they're also waving around swords as well, because apparently they're supposed to be protectors of their temples. So is that something you've seen as well?
I'm sorry, I'm not aware of that. Nope.
Like they
I haven't
normally
actually been to the
they
Kumbh
do
Mela.
sword shows though, right?
I'm sorry.
They do sword shows though, right?
I don't know. I've actually never seen that. No.
Yeah, I think they do all sorts of shows. So basically, a lot of people show their folk dances. Some show off their abilities with weapons.
Oh yeah. Like there is.
Yeah, all sorts of places are there.
So it's like folk dance. There's like singing. There's a lot of.
Have you ever been to any of these kumbhs?
I haven't actually. No.
Is it because you're so far away in Canada? Is that the reason?
Exactly. Yeah.
Another thing, like because
bro, it's one chance in 144 years, man. You should have taken a flight.
I know. I have my internship right now going on, or else I would have definitely went.
Bro, if something happens after 144 years, that internship can wait. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So going to these guys that are naked, yeah, and you can see obviously all sorts of things, but because they're naked, they cover themselves with ash. Majority of the ash that they cover themselves with, what is that ash?
I think it's ash of like that they collect from the cremation ground.
Of who? Whose cremation?
Of humans, I believe. Yeah.
So that isn't that weird? Like, firstly, they got their
no, definitely. So as far like I haven't studied tantric philosophies much, but I've read Swami Vivekananda, and he used to talk about tantra quite a bit. According to them, what he said are this is called the Vamachar part of the tantra, which means the very extreme left side of tantra, that only a few are supposed to go in there and initiate them through. So what this
extreme,
basically and being naked and all that is basically they are trying to detach themselves from all this, from down to their clothing. Like they're just detaching their clothes. They just want to.
But you said extreme. Like, would you say they're extreme, or would you say they're very high level devotees?
Extreme, as in the practices, they're very extreme.
So they're extremists.
No. Extremists are different. Extremists.
extreme in the ways. Extreme in the
Okay,
way.
okay.
Yeah,
So-
they're like looking from a devotee, like a Vaishnava, who is all clean, and like there's different practices in Hinduism that suits people's different nature.
The reason
So
why
how does your sampradaya view it? How do the Vaishnavites view this?
I'm not really sure
These
how they
akhadas, who are all.
We do revere them. We do revere them because they we don't like revere. We do respect them. We do revere them.
Do you not
They are-
consider nudity to be immoral?
nudity immoral. Okay.
Mhm.
Nudity in public immoral. Is that what you're saying?
yeah.
Obviously, not in a bedroom. We don't care what you do in your bedroom.
Well, sort of depends. Depends what.
Depends, really? Depends on what? Nudity, bro. Come on, it's nudity. Would you want to expose your children to anyone who's completely nude and adult?
No, of course not. But the thing
Why is
is,
that?
this is
Why is that?
No.
Because you consider it to be immoral, right?
Well, because they're little children. That's why.
No, but there are children in the Kumbh. There are
Yeah.
lots of children in the Kumbh.
Yeah, and
These Kumbh Melas are
people-
full of women and children. Would
Yeah,
you
and
want
then
to expose your women and children to this grown-up man in his birthday suit?
Yeah, but people understand the reason behind them, right? They're not just doing that.
No,
for
but do you
fun.
wait? When you say you understand the reason behind it, how will you explain that to a child?
What's that?
How would you explain the reason to a child?
Well, I think the parents that take them, they do kind of explain them that they are
Really? Okay, go on.
they are
Imagine
sadhus.
your
They are
child is sitting in front of you. Go and explain to him why this man is naked, who is supposed to be a religious man.
Well, they're sadhus. They're just
No,
they're just trying
explain.
to get away.
Just role play. Just role play. Imagine one of your child is sitting in front of you, and you, as a parent, want to explain to your child why this religion man is completely naked in this holiest of places for Hindus.
Religion do not mandate nudity. I never said they mandate nudity.
Why do you
It's a-
consider it as? Why did you say earlier you wouldn't want to expose your child to a naked man?
Okay, you said two different things. Religion mandates nudity? No.
I never used the term religion mandates. Those were your words. Don't try to strawman.
So, did you not say mandate? What did you say? Then I probably
No,
heard it.
I said, I'm talking about the acts of these Naga Babas, these sadhus, who are supposed, like whom you said you revere, yes, considered and
Some of
hold
them,
them
yeah.
as
We can't
basically
tell-
high
we can't tell
standards
who-
from your religious perspective. I want you to explain to your child why they go about naked. Go on. Let's see how we go.
Yeah, they go about naked because they wanted to detach themselves from the world, especially because what we call in Sanskrit upadhis, like different types of garments that we wear on top of our personalities, right? Or different types of thinking. They want to detach themselves as much as possible from the dualities of the world, which is why they also detach from their clothing. That we don't want to wear our clothing also. So it's a one way.
What is the
Or-
benefit of detaching yourself from the clothing? I can understand detaching yourself from the material world, where you don't want
Yeah.
to obviously be, focused and obsessed with materialism. That I can understand. But detaching yourself of the most basic needs, which includes clothing and food, yes.
Mhm.
I want you to explain to your child why is the most basic fundamental aspect of a human being even that is not something that is worn on this religious person. Why?
Yeah.
Why would he
So
detach himself
this
from the most
specific-
basic thing?
This specific path of spirituality in Hinduism, the Tantric, it demands a very this specific path only demands very strict, a very
Remember, you're
strict-
talking to a child, not a grown-up. You're talking to a child. Remember that.
Yeah, I'll tell my child that this person, that the spiritual path that they're following requires the detachment. And
Why?
detachment also means your attachment to your clothing, what type of clothing you wear.
Why would you go naked? That's a question the child is asking.
To detach yourself from the world.
I can understand from the
By
world.
putting-
Why clothing?
By putting the ashes of dead people on yourself.
What's that?
Look, yeah, you
Yeah,
can't even convince a
why
grown-up
really
that
want
let alone a
out?
child. Yeah.
No, because the thing is, you guys only focus on the naked sadhus. Like there's so many other-
Wait. These
Bro,
naked
bro,
sadhus are the
It's like-
Look,
It's
Aryan.
like-
These
it's
naked
time out,
sadhus
bro.
whom you said you revere, they are basically the highlights of the Kumbh Melas.
I don't only revere them. I never said I only revere them.
I didn't
They
say you
are
only
there.
revere them, but you highly revere them. That's what you said.
I revere them highly, extremely. These are all different terms you're using.
Bro, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter how
exactly.
You know, when you
doesn't
go
matter how
to a
you twist it
festival,
now.
when you go to a
Yeah.
festival, you're saying, oh, you're only focusing on these naked. Bro, if I go to a festival, yeah, and there's 1,000 people, if there are 100 people out of those 1,000 people that are naked, I can see their private parts, they're covered in human ashes, and they're swinging swords around. Bro, that's gonna come up in the conversation. You know what I mean? It's very difficult to avoid these naked guys. And I'm with my kid, and then, bro, this is I would say this is child abuse. That's what it is. If
How's that
you
child
are
abuse?
1 second, I'll tell you why. Because if there is an older man with his willy out, swinging a sword, rubbed in human ashes, bro, that is, and then a child's with you and he's seeing this, bro, why is that legal? Why is that allowed? That can scar a child for life. There's a reason why private parts are covered. There's a reason why pornography is illegal for minors. There is something called child abuse. There's a reason why they don't get married beyond a certain age. Reason being because their minds just cannot comprehend this stuff. So for you to justify and say, oh, you can just explain to a child, that goes against the ethics of any society in the 21st century. Like, I just really want you to ponder on this. Are you seriously saying that it's okay for a child to see this?
Well, it's a Kumbh Mela. The parents that are taking their child, they know that they're going to be exposed to this, and they do know, and
That's not why I asked you, bro. Is it okay for a child to see this? That's what I'm saying.
Again, at the very first, I said depends where, and in what context.
To a Kumbh Mela where there are thousands of people and there are many people that are naked with swords and human ashes. Bro, I've been very clear.
It's spiritual path, and Kumbh Mela is for all the spiritual paths to come together. And if this is one of the spiritual paths where a sadhu, right, a holy person who lives a very simple life, focusing on praying, meditation,
so it's
right?
okay.
And they choose not to wear them because they believe it helps them feel closer to themselves.
So because some old man believes that according to his religion, it's okay for him not to wear clothing. 1 second. If you go somewhere else, you're walking down the street and some other religious guy pops up, again, with private parts, and he's got women, there's a bunch of them, and they, going past your child. Are you now going to explain to your child that these are other holy men, again, with bigger private parts? Is that going to be okay as well?
Well, are they harming you in any way?
Yes, it's psychological harm.
What do you mean psychological harm? Like, how?
Bro, according to any police on the planet, according to any police on the planet, bro, it's called, here in the UK, we call it indecent exposure. That when a man exposes or a woman exposes their private parts to a child, you get slung head first into jail, bro. There's no ifs, there's no buts. Well, there are buts with that man, but you get thrown straight to jail, mate.
I would take that as an opportunity to teach the child about diverse belief practices in different countries.
By the way, Aryan, you live in Canada and you should know about indecent exposure. You got the same rules there.
I know. But the thing is indecent exposure, but this is a spiritual path. You have to.
It doesn't matter what the reason is. It's still indecent exposure. Well, they can give any excuse. There are nudists in Canada, in the UK as well. Sure, yeah. They have the certain areas where they do this, but I don't think any kids are allowed there. You know why? Because even they know, even the nudists know that this is something that.
That's what it is. A very. That's what, like, wherever this tantric practices are going on. Like, even normal people are advised not to go there because even
these people who come to the Kumbh Mela are normal people, and there are not only children, there are women. Can you imagine women getting blessing, women being blessed by these naked people?
That's what
can you imagine? Would you want to expose your women folk to these naked people? Seriously?
But generally, I'm saying Kumbh Mela is for everyone. That's the first point that I said. Any sect, any religious practices
Yeah,
can
we
come here.
understand that universality. However, indecent
Yeah.
exposure still is something which
Oh,
should be
it's classed
condemned.
as it's
I don't think
should
that's
be
a problem.
condemned.
This is
I've
What
never heard
what
any
you're
of you.
doing, what you and other Hindus are doing, they are justifying it for some reason.
No, because I've never heard any person from Kumbh Mela saying, "Oh, look, my child is being
Of course, they won't say it. It's part of their belief.
No, even from other like sampradayas, like even people that don't practice.
You won't
Tantra,
say it. Obviously, the sampradayas, their leaders won't say it. But I'm pretty sure when the children
those
grow
people
up,
criticize
yes,
each other sampradaya a lot.
they might be saying that this is not something I would allow for my children to. You know, how do you know that? You haven't gone and interviewed 400 people, have you? Sorry, 400 million people.
Neither have you.
I didn't say I have. I said this is a
Bro,
general
bro,
principle for anyone who is exposing themselves indecently. It should be condemned. This is common sense. And if you can't understand that, then I think you need to probably, I don't know, go to some classes
I
or
don't know.
something
I
in
think
Canada
I look
where
at
they
that in
teach
a different.
morality.
I look at that in a spiritual way. So
Yeah, you look, because you have a bias. You come from that religion. You obviously have a bias.
Yeah, I guess you also have a bias against
and
that.
what if you saw religious folks of other religions, other faiths that are naked, nude, and your child sees them? Are you going to apply the same logic and explain to your child, oh, these are religious people and it's okay? Look, that's
They're
private
religious,
part.
yes. If their intentions are detached from the world,
How do you know
renouncing
How do
anybody's
you know?
intentions?
How do you know the
How
intentions?
do you know anybody's intentions?
well, most of the sadhus, that's their intentions.
How do you
How
know
do
the
you
sadhu's
know?
intentions?
Why else would they leave
Many of
everything?
these, by the way, many of these sadhus have actually been caught raping people. Do you know that?
Yeah, of course, that happens in every religion.
Exactly. So don't tell me you know anybody's
In
intentions.
every religion, even in
After all,
Islam.
they're human beings. They have lust.
Bro,
I mean, if Hindu gods have lust, like Shiva and Mohini and all this, in your stories, in your Puranas, then what are ordinary Hindus,
Well, you're just trying to generalize that so much.
I'm not
right?
generalizing. I'm talking about the story of Mohini and Shiva, which you're well aware of.
and
Yep,
you,
I know,
bro,
but-
you can generalize the effects of harms that exposing one's private parts has on children. You can generalize that. Reason being, we have
Yeah.
the data, and the world and the governments are unanimous. They call this sexual abuse. That's what they do, bro. When you have indecent exposure, you expose your private parts, regardless of the intentions of the individuals or whatnot, bro. This is wrong. And the fact that you're saying, oh, just explain to a child, how can you explain to a child whose mind is not fully developed? It's a
then you should-
circular argument.
Well, people who take their child, they know and they explain their child. And if your
Oh,
child is
people take their child for sins to be forgiven. They don't take their child to see old men with raisins, swinging swords around with human ashes rubbed on them. They want to go there, dip in the waters, and then leave. But a lot of scenes that we're seeing is loads of naked gurus just jumping about. Bro, it's
I think
weird.
I don't know.
It's wrong.
I think I made my point that in Hinduism, this is one of the spiritual path, tantric path. It's the Vamachar path, which is acceptable in Hinduism, and that's how other Hindus and other
And
people.
we haven't even spoken about the cannibals. Is that one of the parts as well, Aryan?
Cannibal? I've not seen that. I mean,
You have never heard of the Agoris? Seriously?
Agori, they eat
Human.
Yes.
I'm not sure about that.
Yes, they do. That's why they're
human.
called cannibals.
Oh. Okay.
So is that one of the parts as well?
I'm not really sure. They could be in their system of tradition to eat humans, but that's wrong for sure.
Wait.
Oh,
Why did you
this
say
is
that was
wrong.
wrong? Hold on. Why did you say that was wrong?
Because cannibalism, that's humans.
Yes. Why is it wrong?
But showing a wheelie to a child is okay.
Seriously. There's something very wrong with your morality compass, man.
No, I see cannibalism as more of a.
Because they both are wrong. You should say they are both wrong.
No, I wouldn't say the other one is, because the other one is.
Okay, let me ask you something. Would you allow your child to watch? Would you allow your child to watch porn?
Nope.
Why?
Because
What if it was what if it was your school where they said that they wanted to teach the children, sex education? That was the intention. Because for you, it is all about
And the
intention,
people
right?
having sex are spiritual beings, and it's within their religion.
Okay, now you guys are making stuff up, right?
No, this is reality, bro. It's not
like
making up stuff.
Like I said,
Sex education in Sweden, you should go and watch them.
Yeah.
What else they do?
Even like Jainas, even they renounce their clothes because they want to detach themselves from the world. Like the Jain Sampradayas, even they renounce their clothes.
I think you're missing the point once again.
Detach yourself from the world, but don't dangle that detachment in front of my 6-year-old kid.
Well, then don't bring your child there. Then, if you
don't want
a religious
festival,
if you don't want your kid to be exposed,
bro, you can't say don't bring your kid there. This is something that happens after 144 years. This is something which is highly religiously significant. People go to end their birth-death cycle. They go there to get their sins forgiven. They go there for moksha. Bro, you can't just say, just don't take your kids. Because
if you want your kids to be not exposed to that, then you should not. Yes, because if you go there, your kids will be exposed to that, and you will have to explain definitely.
By the way, it's not
religion is this that then withhold certain people from attaining moksha just because certain grandpas are there that are getting, excited just because there's a bit of water there.
I think I've made my. How long is this live stream going to go until?
How long you got?
I have to go right now. Like my break is getting like I'm done with my break.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Aryan, we just wanted to
join back like later on.
We just wanted to know your perspective with regards to the Kumbh Mela. By the way, do you subscribe to the stories of the the Samudra Manthan and all that about the churning of the ocean?
It's a Puranic story. I'm not sure the significance of that story, but I've heard that story. Yeah.
But isn't that the basis of the Kumbh Mela?
People try to connect it to that, yeah.
No, I'm saying that's the whole basis of the Kumbh Mela.
Well, we don't have any evidence of that.
I don't need evidence because I don't believe in it. Ask the Hindus who are the ones who are claiming this.
Looking from my perspective, I wouldn't say no. That's just a story that people have tried to connect it to.
So why did it start? Is it just to meet people and to exchange information? Is that it?
As far as I know, that's the main thing for people who, because these sadhus, they practice their meditation, etc., in all these different parts of India. For them to come together at one place in 12 years to share their experiences to other people, to other sampradayas, and to have discussions, debates, because that's the main part of Hinduism, the Shastras, right? Having debate between different schools. I think this is one of the.
Yeah, I mean that could be a reason, but most of these people, they believe the Puranas. Unlike you, do you reject the Puranas?
I don't reject. No. Puranas definitely have. I see them as a different way. I see the Puranas are because I did read some Puranas. And if you just read them word by word, and if you take their meaning like literally, it won't make sense. But if you look at their main teachings of because they are basically telling you stories and trying to tell you principles through those stories. So that's how I see Puranas. But we can probably talk about Puranas later on. I have to go right now.
Okay, no problem. All right, thanks for your time, Aryan.
Yeah.
Hope to see you again. Take care.
Yeah, for sure.